No, 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 no. That's not how we should be playing. Like, I have two different experiences from this game. I have the first half experience and then the second half. Am I talking like a South African? Second half experience. And all those two experiences are very different. I, in particular, would want to keep seeing the first half experience every now and then. This second half experience, I don't want to see it often. Like, it shouldn't be happening. It should never be happening. Now, there's a lot of things to unpack from this game. I want to take out my emotional part of this game because it has been a roller coaster. I was happy, then sometimes bored, then I thought this was an easy kill, like I just needed to enjoy the game. Then at some point I wasn't enjoying the game, like it was intense, like I started becoming angry. Then from angry to hopeful, and then from hopeful to then angry again, and then to a lot other emotions until at the end of the game where I was clutching on my heart like I was waiting for the game to finish. And this is Wolves. This is Wolves that has been losing all these other games. And this is EFL. And we have two strong teams. And even from the start to the end, we still had our best team, probably. If you remove two or three guys, that's our best team. Now, the things to unpack first, as I've always said, scoring is not a coachable thing. A lot of people will want to. This is from the academy. Like, I had a coach who I thought was really, really, really onto something when he said, scoring is not something that you teach people. Like, a person can be a very, very good footballer. They can know how to dribble, they can know how to do things that other people don't know. They can have the best fast touch. But when it comes to scoring, it goes away. And then you get another guy who has doesn't have a fast touch. Like, his fast touch is so, so, so bad. So, 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 so bad. What can it be compared? That aside, like, you see, like, they're not so, so, so good with this football thing, but they just know how to score. And we have seen a lot of examples. I don't want to mention the names because it will come off as disrespect. But we have seen these examples. And one thing from the start of this game I have noticed, and it's just a culmination of what other people have been talking about and what I've also seen from the previous game and then the all last year season, is that George is a scorer. A lot of people might be complaining. A lot of people may say that is not at Chelsea's level. A lot of people may be saying, like, he's not a very, very grown. Like, his maturity in the way he makes decisions in the field is not that at par with his other mates. But then when it comes to scoring, you can depend on that guy to score. That's what made Salah Salah. That's what made Van Persie Van Persie. That's what made people like Drogba. Scoring. And I think is one guy that we need to give a lot of minutes, because even last season he was one of the most, like, he was one of those guys who had the most contributions in our goal assist in the ratio. And if you compare it to the times he played, I think he played the least and had one of the best goal assist contribution in our team. And we have seen in the last game and then this game. Now, the thing that I've also appreciated, and it's just coming from the first team, is that this is what you call a second team. A team consisting of Gittens, George, Buononate, like Achiampong, Hato, Andre Santos. This is the team that you call the second team. But then when it goes to the ball, those guys are entertaining, those guys are fearless, those guys are doing all these things, and they make football very simple, straightforward, good to see. which is very, very different from what we call the first team. Because when you see the first team, sometimes I don't know what's happening. Like everybody is playing so well, but then as a group, they're all messing up. That's another thing to unpack. Now, the thing that I was sad or it's bad with Chelsea on this game is the defense. Now, I've been here asking for people to bring Achampong. I've asked for people to bring Achampong, saying that currently he's probably the best defenders in the camp. And I still hold on to that. But then there's this thing of first listening to people. Like sometimes when you see, I've seen Liverpool, not the season, last season. I've seen when Van Dijk was the person directing everybody in the defense, telling this guys run, this guy run, this guy do this guy do this. Because sometimes he would draw back, not tackle, just observe the ball, and he was able to direct that defense like a choir, just telling these guys, go this side, go this side, go this side, and they will defend. So good. And that's what you expect sometimes from the keeper, sometimes from one of the defender. Like you are able to communicate. Now, that communication can only work if each of these guys trust each other. Like, if I see, I know you have weakness, I know what you do, but because probably you are what do they call number 4 or number 6? Like you are the director of the defense. Like you are telling these guys, move, 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 and you are following the direction. Now, that's what missed in the first game, in the first goal, because Tosin was telling Achampong, like, I'm covering this guy. Can you just go and cover this guy? Like he was directing, like, go there, go there. And I waited for Achampong to trust that Tosin is going to handle this guy with the ball. Like, I have to stop dealing with this guy with the ball and follow this other guy. Help the team, like, help this thing, like it's communication. But then I didn't go that way. It was like, you are directing me, but I'm not trusting you. Now, why will Achampong not trust Tosin? I don't know. I don't know. Probably it's just a feeling, because when you read these things or when you see, like, okay, this guy is not good in 1 versus 1, and sometimes we think it's just as fans. We usually think like that. But in answer, I think even players usually think. And the problem with not trusting your other guys is that sometimes you concentrate on their weaknesses and then you forget you also have weaknesses. You forget that you are trying to cover this other side and you are not covering your thing. Like you're not covering yourself or you're not covering a thing. And the problem is that you lose yourself. You don't apply yourself. And it's the reason why we considered the first goal. Now, with the other goals, this has been the problem. It has been free kicks, set pieces, throw ins. We have considered a lot of goals in that way, like throw ins. And it's just getting to the second ball. Sometimes I feel, our squad has very, very few tall people, like 6'6", 6'7", 6'3", 6'2". Like most of our squads, especially in front, from midfield to in front, it's just guys 5'10", 5'8", sometimes 5'7", sometimes 5'11", if they are very, very tall. But then the defense, probably two of the guys are above 6, but the rest of the guys are, and then you get certain teams like Brentford, Newcastle, Wolves, even Arsenal, where nearly a half or 80% of the squads are 6'3" and above. That makes it hard for you to defend. And it's not just defending the first ball, it's just defending the first ball and then the second ball. We have considered a lot of goals in that. And I don't know how the team is going to cover that, because that's a physicality issue. Like sometimes this is the way we play with people who have agility and this and this and this, and this is their weaknesses. Now how are we going to handle the weaknesses? Sometimes it's just avoid a lot of set pieces. And if you have set pieces, I think sometimes we may just reduce the number of, you know, don't know, short people in the team. Just bring people who can defend set pieces. Not a lot, maybe 3, 4, just to, help the two defenders. Like in this game, like the only two tall people are Achampong and Tosin. All these other guys were struggling, and it's the reason why we considered a lot of free kick goals, and not just in this game, in the previous other games. Now, the last thing, and which is very, very important to me, and it is important to the coach, it is important to the other fans, it is important to the other players, is that sometimes the inconsistencies are not even on per game basis. Like, it's not like we are good in this game, we are bad in this game, we are good in this game, we are bad in this game. That we have agreed we have. But then sometimes the inconsistencies are in game. And I know I've watched the game where at some point you have good 15 minutes, and then these other guys have 10 good minutes, and then these other guys have 10 good minutes, you have 15 other, you have 10, here they have 5, and that's how the game usually plays. What I'm talking about is that a person plays well probably in the first 30 minutes, and then he just logs out, and I don't know why that happens. I saw Garnacho in the previous game. He was so good for some time, and then it reached a point where he just logged out, and he was not there anymore. And we were looking like, where's this guy? Is he tired? Are we not doing enough? Uh, Training like gas. Are we putting people in the field who are not 100 feet, 100% fit? And that I've seen even today. Like sometimes I will see Gittens was good, and then sometimes he went and lost, and then he came back in the end. And at the time when he was lost, he was giving mispasses, passing outside, losing the ball. At that period where he was lost, when we considered the first goal, like I think somebody lost, gave a mispass at the field. And it wasn't the first missed pass, and it wasn't the last missed pass. Like during that period, we had players who made a lot of missed passes, and I was looking at them and thinking, there might be a problem that we are not addressing. Probably we have an issue of in-game inconsistency, and I don't know how you solve this. Like, would the coach just decide and see you guys? Probably, I've seen a lot of coaches shouting at the players, telling them, "You need to run, do this, do this. Why are you doing like just to tell them? Sometimes you have done your work, and then you start thinking at something like, I needed to go home. I have this other guy, or I invited my girlfriend the way Sancho used to invite, all those guys that, uh, you know, the- I don't want to cause problems, but the three of us. Why am I saying this? This is not good. But I'm just saying, sometimes you have invited them there, and then it reaches a point where your mind logs off from the ball, and then what are they thinking? Are they seeing me? Am I doing the right thing? Am I impressing them? And then you start messing up. I just want, as a coach, as a coaching staff, as a development, like to install, like it's an app, like as if it's an app, like we install. Some other people say instill, but I want us to install consistency in the software. Like we tell them that if you go into the game, don't log out. Only log out when you are out of the game. Never log never log out within the game. I've seen Achampong do it. I've seen Garnacho do it. I've seen Gittens do it. Sometimes I saw Estevao do it. A lot of guys have been doing it. I've seen Enzo. Like, it's not even about experience or anything. I've seen this thing happening so many times. And I don't want to do. But anyway, we have won. And winning should be celebrated. We shouldn't be coming here thinking like, oh, we need to do. The thing is, I just wish, because currently the teams that have proceeded, they're still hard. You have Crystal Palace, which has beaten Liverpool 3-0. Arsenal have beaten Brighton 2-0. Man City are out. Oh, they have won. They have come from behind. They have won. Man City have won. Uh, I've said there's also Cardiff. There's also Newcastle. And then there's us. And then there's Fulham. And then there's Brentford. Now, what I wish is that I haven't seen. I don't know if the draw has already happened. But what I wish is that we face Cardiff. Just seeing this game, I want us to face Cardiff. I don't think there's any other team. Like, all these other teams that are there, they have shown they can beat us, including Brentford, Fulham, especially that, you know, when we defeated Fulham, they had all this issue of refereeing, which was so big. I think they're coming in for the revenge if we meet them. Then there's as Man City. I don't know what happens when we meet them. They will just turn them into prime Barcelona. And with Arsenal, probably if we meet Newcastle are our other customers. Whenever we meet them, we usually handle them appropriately. So we rather face Cardiff or Newcastle. That's my only hope. Anyway, next time, and good night. And if you are still here, subscribe and take us to 1,000. Channel to the moon.